Now we are going to move to another example, and this time, rather than just showing the error on the screen, we are going to send an error log to a file or by email if you want to. Okay, so we're going to create a function which is going to trigger an error, but this time we are going to trigger the error ourselves. Normally, when there is a runtime error in PHP, the PHP engine is going to trigger an error by itself. But we can also do that ourselves. If we want to make our application more robust, we can just trigger errors when we think there are some problems. Okay, so our function is just going to calculate the file size, okay, of a file. So it's going to be, let's call it calculate file size, and we're going to give it one argument, which is going to be the name or the path of the file. Okay, so first we are going to check if the file exists, or if the file doesn't exist. So let's have an exclamation mark. I'm going to use the function file exists. Okay, and we're going to give it the name or the path of the file. So if it exists, if it doesn't exist, then what we're going to do, we are going to trigger an error. Okay, so this time we're triggering the error ourselves. Okay, so to trigger an error, we're going to use the function trigger error. And if you want to explore details about this function, Control K. So it's going to take a couple of parameters. So the first one is going to be the error message, and the second one is going to be the error type. So for the error type, we can use the e-user family of constants. Okay, so by default, it's going to be e-user notice. Otherwise, we can use other ones like e-user warning, for example. Okay, so let's give our function a couple of parameters. So the first one is going to be our string, and let's set that to the file name followed by something like does not exist, and thus size cannot be retrieved, for example. Okay, and the second parameter, we're going to give it an e-user warning, for example. All right, and then we're going to return false. Okay, otherwise, if the file exists, we are just going to return the size of the file using the file size function. Okay. Okay, so that's our function, which is going to trigger the error. Okay, so now we are ready to create our error handler. Okay, so this time it's going to be a function. I'm going to call it error handler 2, and we're going to give it all those parameters as we did before. Okay, only the first two are required anyway. Okay, and this time what we're going to do, we are going to create a string variable, okay, a log, where we're going to store everything we want about this error, and then we'll see how we can log this into a log file or send the error by email if you want to. Okay, so let's set our variable to something like so let's get the error number, okay, and also the date the error happened. So let's write error, okay, and then brackets, and then inside let's get the error number. Okay, let's get the dates on. I'm just gonna add the dates using the dates function. Okay, and let's go for a format with the day /month /year, and then the hour, minutes, and seconds. Okay, and then let's have a return new line. So \r \n. Okay, so that's going to be the first line, and then let's add another line. So for example, we can say let's add details. Okay, and we're just going to write our error string here, or the error message. All right, followed by a dot, and let's have a line return, a new line. Okay, and also we might want the to see the location. So we're gonna have the file name and also the line where the error happened. Okay, so let's add that as well. Let's write location in, or let's have location : in, and that's going to be the error file. Okay, and we can say on line, and that's going to be the line, error line. All right. Okay, and finally let's have a return as well, new line. All right, so now we might want to add the variables as well with the error context. Also, it's really a huge file, the or the huge string, this error context. But let's try just to see what is got inside it. So let's add, for example, a string saying variables. Okay, so this is going to be an array. So let's use the function print _r, okay, to print it. Okay, so just one thing, when we use the function print _r, it's going to print stuff on the screen, but we don't want to do that at the moment. We just want to capture the information or the outputs of the print _r function. So we're gonna add a second parameter to this function. Okay, we're gonna add true, and this means that we are just going to capture this output, which is going to be a string, and add it to this string. Okay, so that's really important. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So, and then after that, we can add a return new line. Okay, so now we've got our log string ready. Okay, so to log our string to a file, we're going to use a function that we call error log. Okay, so this function is going to take a few parameters. So if you do Control K, so you can see here that it's going to take as a first parameter a string, which is going to be our message, and then the second one is going to be the message type, and we've got different message types. So for example, if you want to log the details onto a file or a log file, we're going to use number 3. If you want to send an email, we're going to use number 1, for example. Okay, and the other parameter is going to be the destination. Okay, and then any extra headers we need. And the destination is going to be the path of the log file, or the email address if we're sending an email. So let's log this to a file. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a file using our file FTP. Let's create a folder. We call it logs, and let's create our file inside this folder. I'm just going to call it error handling errors. We're going to give it an extension .log. Okay, so this is going to be a log file. So error handling errors.log. Okay. So now let's give our error log function all the needed arguments. So first one is going to be our string log, and then the message type is 3. Okay, for logging into a file, and then the path of our file is logs. Okay, / error handling errors .log. Okay, and also, so we want to send the log to this file, and also we want to send an email as well. So let's try that as well. So we're going to use the same function, but this time we are going to use message type 1 for email, and then we're going to write the email address we'd like to send the error to. Okay, and we're going to send it to some at okay. Okay, so finally we're gonna stop our script using the die function, and we're just gonna write something on the screen saying, let's have a paragraph, for example. We're just gonna say that an error occurred, please try again. Okay, and we're gonna have already sent all the information to the file or the email address. Okay, so after we have finished our function, we are going to use the set error handler file, okay, to set our handler. Set error handler function to set our handler. So the name of our handler is error handler 2. So we put it inside the string, okay. And let's generate an error by calling our function calculate file size of an existing file. So let's give it existing file.text. So let's refresh the page. Okay, so I'm missing a semicolon there. So let's refresh again. Okay, so it's saying here an error occurred. Please try again. Okay, please try again. Okay, so now let's check our log file. So let's go to the log file and check if we've caused the error inside it. So Control O, I'm going to open it using text, Notepad. Okay, so now we can see our log string, okay, that we sent to this file. Okay, we can see all the details. So of course the error number there, okay, the date, the time, okay, the message, okay, the location of our file. the line where it's happened, and so on. Okay, and you can see the context array as well. So we've got only one variable here, the file, okay, with the file name. Okay, now let's check the email as well.